1976, the company was going through some things. Dad was in a position where he had to transfer, kind of to accept a promotion and move up or move over. And so he chose to buy a dealership. And the first one he bought, the store he bought, was in Austin. And June 6th of 1976, we opened. So 40 years ago.
The purchase of what was ultimately named Longhorn International was a family decision, a decision between the two of them. To finance it, at least what I remember was they had to sell our home and use the money from the home to buy the business, which meant we were moving to Austin and living in an apartment. So I went to work with my dad. And so I was, I think, the first Kyrish kid that worked at Longhorn International. And I was the receptionist at age 17. And so what we did was we drove in to Austin every Sunday night, my dad and I did. And we had rented a house, I don't know even who did that, but in that house, we literally slept on cots that summer. And it was my dad and me, and then he had his secretary treasurer who was also relocating, and his head of parts, and the four of us lived in that house that summer. It was a little 3-bedroom house and 1 bathroom, and those poor men had to wait for me every morning because I got ready in the bathroom first, and then they got ready, and we all went to work every morning, and we worked all week. And then on Friday night, my dad and I would drive back to Fort Worth, and then on Sunday night we did it again, and that's what we did all summer long.
And so suddenly he's a dealer in this little bitty market, Austin, Texas, and it was a little bitty market. And I remember it was in the fall of that year, and I had gone over to their home for dinner, and candidly, so that Mom could do my laundry. And so Dad says, let's go outside, I want to talk to you for a minute. Okay, so we go outside, and Dad said, you know, Dwayne, I think we may have made a mistake here. I may have made a mistake here, and I don't want you to think badly of me, but the company has offered me an opportunity to move back, and I just don't see that this thing will ever amount to anything. There's just nothing here, and I don't know how to deal with it. And I said, well, Dad, don't worry about me. I'm good. I can get a job, don't worry about me. Shortly after that, we sold 6 trucks, 6 or 8, to Superior Dairies. Dad'll remember this. Superior Dairies was kind of a big deal. Suddenly, everything changed. His attitude changed. We were in business. We made a deal. We sold trucks to a really important, at that time, local customer in Austin, Texas. And now he never looked back. Now what's the next deal? And gosh, ever since then it's been, what's the next deal? And very candidly, I learned from that. What's the next deal? Not what's the last deal. That last deal doesn't matter. What's the next deal? I think Wayne and I both learned that. Doesn't matter what the last deal was. What's the next deal? Let's move.
I've been an employee here at Longhorn International for 38 years. I have known Ed Kyrish personally for probably 40 years. I started with International Harvester Company 48 years ago, next month on my birthday, in Corpus Christi. Ed had left Corpus to come to Austin, and I first heard the name Ed Kyrish at that time when I was working down there. Obviously, after I was transferred to Dallas, that's where I personally met Ed when he was the, I believe, the regional fleet sales manager. I have a lot of respect for the man, and 38 years ago, after Ed had bought this company store, he asked me if I would go to work for him. It took me about 2 seconds to say yes.
I'm working for International Harvester, and
Dad has, we think, a heart attack because he is working hard. He's cutting creosote telephone poles with a chainsaw above his head, holding it up there to do the work himself, and strains his chest muscles and think he has a heart attack. They called me, I quit International Harvester, moved to Austin to go to work for them in 1981. The dealerships, Dealcore dealerships in San Antonio were struggling, and they offered Dad an expansion if he'd move to San Antonio. He said, yes, I'll do it. So August the 2nd, 1982, he moved from Austin to San Antonio, and I go to San Antonio with him, and we leave Dwayne in Austin. Business goes forward. 87, the Houston dealerships, which are called Olympic, and it was 3 different dealerships, and they ringed it, but Olympic was having problems. They asked Ed Kyrish, said, would you be willing to take over Houston? He said yes. So then Dad moves from San Antonio to Houston and leaves me in San Antonio. So now Dwayne's in Austin, I'm in San Antonio, and he's in Houston. So by 87, we are in Houston, Texas. And we have now got a triangle of dealerships, and we did very well with Dad at the helm, and Dwayne and I learning as we went with his guidance. And that was the beginning of where we are today. And it was all based upon our opportunities that were given to us because of Dad's efforts, because he did work hard at it.
He just didn't really care about the frills of things. He just wanted to succeed, and and then he ended up buying San Antonio that was in distress and turned it around. Then he bought Houston that was in distress and turned it around, and now I think there's 12 locations. And he's still going strong. Ed will never quit. Ed'll be 90 still. He'll be working when I retire. I truly believe that.
It's been 27 years when he walked in this place of business. It's hard to believe that the time has gone by this quickly.
When Ed came here, of course, we were all very nervous and afraid, but we still have a job, and it was a scary time. But Ed came when he flew around the corner and he parked his car. We all were watching at the window, and he didn't know that, but then we all scattered when he walked in the door. It was hilarious. I think back on it, and it's hilarious. It wasn't funny at the time. We were all so nervous.
But nobody knew who was going to stay or who was going to leave. And then he came in, he says, I want you to know you've got a job if you want it. And that made me feel so good knowing I didn't have to go out on the street and start looking again.
He had a way of making us feel like, this is okay. This is going to be so good. He's so ready to be here. We left that meeting feeling like we would still have a place with the company, and gosh, 20 some odd years later, I still do.
Ed is one of the first dealers that I knew that had multiple locations. He did this with one brand, which was very unusual back in the day. He also did it during tough economic times. But I think really the prize here, he was able to pass the lessons that he learned to his sons and now his grandsons. I applaud you for that, Ed.
I started buying trucks from Ed Kyrish in probably about the 1960s. They were a good dealership, and they backed their products. And if you had something wrong, they'd get it fixed for you. And they were just good people to do business with.
Very small group of people that can say that. Congratulations.
And then we do all this and do fake stuff.
Then we do our
Don't you want it to be more funny?
bentro. What?
I want it to be more funny. Not
I think
just
we
funny,
start
but
out.
more
We
funny.
start it with. We
Start
start
out
it
serious,
with.
and then do you
we
know
start
it's
out
like-
with. Okay. No, we
Here,
start
how
out.
do we do triple?
No, that's too hard. I can't.
No,
I can do that.
No, I
I'm
can't
going to
do that.
spill it on
No,
myself.
we can't do that. Let's do Arriba Abajo.
Arriba, abajo.
Abajo. El Centro, al dentro.
Okay. Start over again because we won't remember that.
He is one of the kindest, compassionate men I've ever met in my life. He deals with you on personal issues, business issues. He always wants to know how his product is doing. He talks a bunch, but that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. When I know I'm going to get in a conversation with Ed, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to listen. But he's treated me and everybody else at our company fine, fair, and he's one of the best men I've ever known.
We started here in May of 1989, and I had been partnershiped down in the valley with 2 other guys. We had sold out down there, and I had heard that Ed Kyrish had an opportunity here in Houston for service manager. And so I contacted Ed, knew Ed Kyrish through being a powerful man through the company, the International Dealer Network, and contacted Ed and set up an interview with him, and came to Houston, me and my wife here that day, and pulled in front of the dealership about 9 o'clock. Got out, I told her, just wait on me, this will probably take an hour or so. And I came in and went back to Ed's office, and we talked and we talked and we talked. And Ed covered everything in the world. About 1:30 or 2 o'clock, he said, hey Kermit, 1:30 or 2 o'clock, we got there at 9. He said, let's go get a piece of pie. He said, where's your wife? I said, she's been sitting out in the car. Oh my God. So we got her, we went and got a piece of pie, had a visit. I said, Ed, we're gonna head back to the valley. Thank you, and I'll see you. Tell me when you want me to go to work for you. We had made a deal. So anyhow, we're riding along. So my wife said, Kermit, so did Mr. Kyrish hire you? I said, he sure did, and he's gonna tell me when he wants me here. So how much is he gonna pay you? I said, I don't know. We never even talked about that. We covered everything in the world, but I said, you know what? I recognize that this man is something special. And I guess the pay wasn't that big a deal with me right then. And this is me talking to my wife, and she said, you have got to be crazy that we are going to move to Houston, Texas, and you don't even know how you're going to be paid.
Of course, you know, Ed kind of has he has a gift with the English language. In other words, he likes to talk. So he's a great talker. And I can tell you back when he was one of the dealers that I called on, I would call him to ask him information about something we needed. Well, when I'd get on the phone, he'd start talking about something else, and we may talk for 20 minutes on the phone, and then he'd say, I gotta go, and he'd hang up. I never got my question answered. I'd have to call him back to get the answer. So,
right around the corner from Santex was a little bar. And so, you know, 3 salesmen, Dad and I, would go in there and, you know, we'd drink a beer. And they had a sign up on the wall that said, curse words, 25 cents. Well, you know, we weren't paying attention to it, to be honest with you. And we're in there and we're just having, you know, we're talking and drinking and Dad's talking, and we got to the end and we go to pay the tab, and the guy looked at Dad and said, it'd be $10.25. He said, well, it's only $4 for the beer. He said, look at the side, says 25 cents a word for curse words. You owe me $10. Dad is the most beautiful person. He doesn't know when he is using a curse word. So I think he looked at it and said, well, is GD 25 or 50 cents? And I think the guy said, that'll be another quarter. But, because that's my father. He is just absolutely beautiful. He just talks.
We were at the movies. My sister Pam, my sister Judy, my mom and my dad and I went to a movie a few years ago. This is probably only like really maybe 3 years ago. I don't know why we all went to some movie. We all went to the bathroom as soon as the movie was over. My dad's out in the lobby talking to this couple when we come out. And they're just engaged in all this conversation. So we walk up and we're like introducing ourselves, and he's like going, this is my wife. And so we're just talking, introducing, talking about our kids, our families. I'm from here, I'm from there. And these people are just sitting there. This goes on for like 3 or 4 minutes. We're just talking. And finally I realized these people aren't saying a word. And so my sisters and I kind of looked at each other. And Mom was like, now someone said, how do you know these people? And my dad goes, well, I don't know these people, I just met them. And we'd been telling them about our kids, our families, and they're just staring at us, and we all just were like, oh my goodness. So see, that's where I get it from. He's just crazy. I don't know why we're doing that. We're not really gonna maybe drink it unless we.
Oh, we're gonna drink it.
Where? Okay, where?
I know Beverly's gonna drink it.
Where do you want us to stand? I have to drive. Probably not. I'm the cheapest drunk of the bunch. So. she is the cheapest. I am bad. Okay, what are you gonna say?
What am I gonna say?
Oh yeah, what
what am I say? Dad, here, thank you for the first 40 years of the business.
Mom and Dad said.
Mom and Dad, thank you for the first 40 years of our business and the family.
What was that we said?
We said it so much better.
We said it better,
That
yeah.
wasn't exactly it because it blended in with something about the family.
Thank you. Here is here. Mom and Dad, here's
to the first 40 years of
And
the.
to the family that grew with it.
Yeah.
And I say we love you.
Yes.
When my father was wanting to retire, so when we first started negotiating to have Ed buy us out, my dad got a big kick out of Ed, and he told me, he said, son, you know, with Ed's money and our brains, we're gonna make this company go. As it turns out, it turned out to be Ed's money and Ed's brains, because we almost in 1 year doubled our output. Where we were selling probably 150 buses a year, the very next year we went to 300. Today we sell over 1,500 buses a year, and we're in 3 different locations. He earlier told me it was interesting that he didn't want to get into used buses. He said because used buses, a school bus can handle up to 77 children. If that bus is in an accident and 77 kids die, then of course there is no more Kyrish Enterprises. So he thought best thing to do is let's stay with new buses and let the manufacturer have the issues of legal problems with accidents. So we do not sell used buses. That was something that my father and I started out doing, just getting into the business.
My name is Ed Kyrish, and we purchased the bus company in 1991.
You thinking too much.
That was too much?
You know, you thinking too much.
Yeah, goddamn, see, that's what I do.
Right. I want you to just talk to me like you've been talking to me. Don't worry about, here, let me turn this off.
Okay, let's try once more.
Yeah, let's just try. I just turned it off. But give me that.
Okay, well in 1991, see, but what do I say there? Because I'm saying, I don't need to say, how do I factor in this, that we saw this as an opportunity to
You don't.
Oh.
You're going to put a piece to what he's going to put on there. Start off by saying, I'm Ed Kyrish, and in 1991, tell that story. So let's just practice that in 3, 2.
My name is Ed Kyrish, and in 1991, we purchased the Kyrish family purchased Longhorn Bus sale. I thought you said to quit it there. See, and I know what you want me to say, and I hope I can say it. It's amazing. My mind runs in about 7 directions when you were saying that, but not that. Well, let me try that.
Okay, come on.
Yeah. Okay, in 1991, the Kyrish family saw an opportunity. We had a good reputation, and we had an opportunity to buy a bus company, which also had a very good reputation. And so, see, now I'm at a loss because that wasn't the direction I think. I'm just the wrong guy.
No, just talk to me about, instead of going back to the history, just talk to me from 1991 up until now.
So if I just say 1991, the Kyrish organization had the opportunity and purchased the Longhorn bus sales.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, 1991, the Kyrish family, having seen the opportunity and having enjoyed a good reputation, we wanted to buy someone who also had a good reputation. And so Longhorn bus sales became available to us, and we purchased it. It was a good fit, in as much as both the bus company people, bus people, and the truck people, above all, service is the #1 requirement. We had, by far at that point in time, the most service capability, and we had a very good product. So it was a natural fit. And down through the years, we hope we've not disappointed too many of you. And no matter what, you know that we'll always try to do what's right. Is that too much?
That's fine. I like it. Let's go with that.
play it and see what happens.
All right. All right. We're rolling tape in 3, 2.
Do I say it again?
Yes.
I won't be able to say the same thing again.
Let's see what
You're dealing with it. You're dealing with a dummy. You know that.
Man, come on. Give me that in 3, 2.
Okay, in 1991, the Kyrish family, seeing that, forgot what I'm trying to think exactly what I said. Okay.
Let's try it one more time.
Yeah.
And then I got a surprise for you. Give me that in 3, 2.
Ed's a great orator. He says something and he'll get a point across in a way that anybody can understand. And he'll stand up there till you do, if he didn't think you did.
What I think is really interesting is Ed doesn't argue with you directly very often. Certainly hasn't with me in many cases. What he does is he asks questions. You know, now you start answering that question and suddenly you're seeing his point of view and he didn't share it. And I went, wow, what a skill. What an incredible trait to be able to have, is to ask a question that puts the other guy in a position where he has to answer it the way you see it.
He can teach you things, he can tell you things, send you a message without saying those words. He'll tell you a story about something that happened to him when he was a little kid, or when he was a young man, or at some point in his life, he'll tell you some story of something that happened, and you're just kind of listening to him, okay, what does this have to do with what we're supposed to be talking about? And then it may be an hour later or 2 days later, I'll go, that's what he was telling me.
So when he tells stories, when he tells people to do things, or he puts information into a situation, there's so much authority there because he's done it. He's walked the walk and can then kind of do the talk, and people respect it. And it's really cool, but that reality that he actually has that authority, I mean, that comes with a lot of history, and he's worked hard since day one. He's just so passionate about work and what he does, and it's felt by his family or his employees or whoever it is that's involved with him. And I think that's what honestly people are most drawn to, is just knowing that he's the real deal.
Well, I just want to tell you how thankful I am that y'all interviewing me. Ed and I have been friends for many years, and he trusted me, being a broker from Louisiana, to buy that place out on Hempstead Highway. And with that, I was very fortunate to spend the money on a new set of teeth. And I finally had to get these rid of, and I got me a new set of teeth, and I'm very thankful for Ed for helping me do that. So let me show you. I really enjoy my new teeth. Now, we went out there and looked at that property, and Ed knew it was in the floodplain. So after we got the Hempstead under our belt, Ed began to trust me, and he said, I want to buy the property next door to me on 8900 North Loop East. So I said, okay, and we negotiated with him, and we did that. Also, part of this property was in a floodplain. So I'm going to think Ed likes floodplain property,
And we grew a team of people, and he recognized that it took really good people to take advantage of the marketplace and to be competitive and to be able to compete with other competitors and the people that they had. So we built a team of people that were professional people that understood our products, understood the applications that we were selling in. When we came here, there were no international trucks being sold. And it was a neat deal to see those kind of things happen. The most important thing is he put the structure together for us and gave us the encouragement that we needed to go do business. And so we saw our growth stay steady over a period of 19 years. And we saw that steadiness come because he knew just exactly when to give that rope and when to hold it. And it was the neatest thing I've ever seen.
I know that we're different than our competitors because we consider our employees as part of our family. And I think it's because we treat them as adults. We're not standing over them thinking that we can just let them, we can rule them. Hey, we give them decision processes, we let them make the decisions, and we support them.
What I remember about Ed back in the early days, and still present today, he was in the office about 2 weeks ago, is he's kind of like the Energizer Bunny. He don't ever quit. He's very sales-minded, and when we sold out to him in 2012, we knew that would eventually who bought us when we decided to get out of the business. They're the same values we have. They're a family company. They treat their customers fair, and they're honest with everybody they deal with. And I met Sid, I've known his wife for that many years also. A very lovely lady, complement each other very well.
I'll tell you, one of my proudest moments was in 2002 when, as the ATD line rep for International, I nominated you to be Dealer of the Year, and you were selected. That wasn't a surprise to me because you've always been my Dealer of the Year, but it was a very emotional moment for me, for sure, to finally help get you the recognition that you deserved within our industry and certainly within our brand.
I worked with Ed on his nomination package for ATD Dealer of the Year in 2001, which he won. I recall talking to his wife Sid about providing a nice formal portrait of Ed as part of the submission to ATD. Sid took care of that task and called to tell me she was sending the photo to me. And she added very firmly, "I think it's a great photo, but don't forget, he's mine." Well, how awesome is that?
I think my mother is my father's greatest asset. They have a wonderful marriage. They're a partnership, and not just that it's business, but they love each other so much, and they're just two little peas in a pod, and they just can't not be with each other. And I think my dad put the business first a lot in his life. I think he loves it so much. I don't think he thinks of it that way, but it was okay with her because she loves him and she knew what he needed, and so that's one reason I believe he and the business are such a success, because she didn't resent the business and she fully supported him in all the things, and she was always there for us if he was gone.
I remember meeting Sidonia when I was 16. Pam had brought her to the front door, and she was a very pretty lady, and she was so bubbly and so excited to meet me, and it was really kind of funny that after I talked to her for a few minutes and she left, I said, now who was that? And she said, that was my mother. I said, your mother?
Behind every great man is a great woman, and everybody that's married will agree to that. There are some that can say that they've married above their stature. There's some that can say they've gotten unconditional support, and I would say that Grandma Sid is absolutely that woman. I will always remember the Astros games going with Grandma and Granddad. One of the biggest sports fans that I think I ever met.
We found out that their Astro tickets are right next to ours, and so we visited a lot during Astro games. And he's very big, baseball fan.
They have the 4 seats right behind our 4 seats at the Astro games, and always look forward to seeing Mr. Kyrish and his wife Sid there at the game.
It's been a real pleasure getting to know Ed Kyrish and the Kyrish family. He's put together a real professional team down at the dealership that we deal with. We look forward to continue dealing with them, and they've been a great resource for us for speccing our trucks and dealing with any issues that arise, and just nice to have people that we can count on.
And then go.
Okay, then you drink. Okay.
So it's up,
So-
down, in, out. I mean,
Up,
out,
down, out, in.
And when do we toast?
That's it.
That's the toast. No, when do we do
Arriba,
this? Well, when do we do
abajo,
this? El centro.
al dentro.
I can't believe we don't do this. I can't. and then we sip, and then we say seriously, and then I think you go, seriously, cheers. And then
Here, Brad, here, click. Here, click it. Brad.
What?
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'll do it up front. Do it out here.
Okay, don't hit her.
Break my glass. Okay, wait a minute. This is what we'll do. You hold your glass still and let us click your glass, okay?
Okay.
Cheers. That would be better, okay?
Okay.
No breaking the glass.
We got to hit it hard enough.
No, we don't.
Actually, we're not good at these toasts.
We don't toast right.
I really congratulate all of you. I think it's a great celebration. Understand, know, Betty and I wish I could be there hugging your neck. We love you and appreciate everything you've done for all of us. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ed. It has been my honor and privilege to know you and to have your friendship for so many years.
Again, congratulations to the entire Kyrish family, but especially to you two guys, the matriarch and patriarch of a great family, the legacy that will continue for many, many years. Best wishes, good health, and congratulations.
First of all, I appreciate the opportunity and the faith and trust that you had in me when you hired me. And I guess after 38 years, Ed, I hope I haven't let you down.
If I knew that Ed was listening right now, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support and the challenge. And more importantly than that, thank you for always being consistent and steady in the way that you approach things. And the encouragement and the excitement when things got exciting. Thank you for that.
I would tell him thank you very much. He's always been very interested in our company and always tried to help us all he could.
From 1976 and Longhorn International to today and a Kyrish Truck Center. Your legacy will live on forever, Granddad, because the company has now got your last name. It carries it forward. Thank you for everything.
And I can tell you, I can speak for many, many of us dealers that are your friends, that none of us would probably be where we are today without your help. And I certainly appreciate that. I look forward to many more conversations with you, and I hope you and Sid are enjoying yourselves. And once again, thank you for being my friend.
Mom and Dad, here's to the first 40 years of the business that you created.
And to the family that has grown with it.
We love you, Mom and Dad. Cheers.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. 64 years you've been married. 64 years they've been married. 40 years in business.
Incredible.
Woo-hoo. Very, very, very few people can say both of those things. Congratulations, they're amazing. A toast to you. Arriba! El bajo, el centro, el dentro. We got to do
Where do
that.
we go? Cheers.
Love y'all.
Cheers, and we love you both.
All right.